Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking in. So the other day I was invited to a friend's house. Fridays here are great. There's friends, there's food, there's entertainment, there's games, there's toys, you name it. By the way, this thing's insane. More on that later. I had the Mavic Air 2 with me and I figured I'd try to chase my friends up and down the stretch of road in front of the house. It was a complete disaster. I couldn't point the thing in the right direction. I about ran the drone into the pavement. I almost hit a guy or two people. And after watching the videos, I thought to myself, hey, I suck, and I should really set aside some time and learn how to use Active Track. I mean, most of the things I want to film are on the move anyway. So the next day, I take the drone to the high school, figured running around on the football field would actually help me understand how the Active Track features work. Oh, instead of saying subject matter or point of interest or focal point, I'm just gonna say target. It's the first thing that comes to my head, plus it's just way cooler. So selecting your target is super simple. Just swipe down and over. I tried the trace mode first. My guess was that the drone would simply follow you from behind and, go where you go. I didn't think much of it at the time, but yeah, the drone actually does its best to trace your path while keeping you in frame. You can see when I run in a circle here, the drone doesn't center itself, hover midair and just yaw or swivel to the right. It actually follows the path of the arc that I'm running. The trace option is pretty cool the more I think about it. It allows the drone to position itself in a way that captures a more exciting perspective, rather than just chasing the target along a straight path. Plus it totally looks like you're in a 3D third-person video game.
It's a long
He's at the 10,
run.
the 5.
The pitch is good. The pitch is good.
What's cool too is that if the drone loses the target, it's programmed to reestablish its attention on the target if everything goes right. Watch.
Target heading north. Wait, what the f***? Oh, there he is. Re-engage.
If you use the lines on the field as a point of reference, the drone really does a good job tracing my path. I mean, that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Next I try out the parallel option. Now with the Mavic Pro, I remember it being pretty easy to run out of the frame, so I figured a fairy trot was appropriate to get the drone moving sideways. Seeing that the drone still had an eye on me, I pick up the pace. The drone was hanging right in there with me, so I figured it was time to put on the burners! The drone maintained its lock. Flagpole, 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 flagpole! I mean, I'm a pretty small target on a big field. I feel like that's pretty good. I approve. I'm not gonna lie, I was kinda hoping I could shake this thing, but it turns out I can't outrun this drone's target lock. Yet. So on my way back to the remote, I tried to get shifty. Maybe a more sporadic target would challenge the gimbal. But nope. Dude, this thing is just all over you. Once I regained my composure, I wanted to test parallel active tracking with elevation change. Flying straight up a slight grade on Friday almost took off the drone's toenails, and in the past I've experienced the same challenge trying to follow myself in a chairlift going uphill. So select your target. Don't forget to tap the go icon. For this trial, I thought running up the bleachers would tell me how the drone does when it sees changes in, the y-axis. Happy to report the drone recognized the change and flew up as I went up and flew down as I went down while being mindful of the hand railing. Basically, this thing sticks to you like pollen inside your nose. Last but not least, point of interest is usually pretty straightforward. Select your target, fly left or right, adjust your speed, and just pan to your heart's content. Satisfied with my findings, I packed everything up and headed out. Later that day, I met up with a friend at our flow trail to try Active Track. Wallfield's actually the perfect place for this. It's a flow trail in the middle of a field, no trees. As a bonus, the wind wasn't a huge factor and it seemed like we had just the right amount of cloud cover. The entire trail needed a haircut, however, everything was still rideable. Being that bikes always look best from the side, parallel active track was my primary focus, and the goal was to maintain an active track lock throughout the whole trail. All things considered, the drone did pretty good. We recorded decent shots along the top straightaway. However, things got a little hairy once the trail started going in a different direction. If the drone wasn't pointed in just the right spot, the bike would scoot out of frame pretty quick. But check this out. Right here the drone loses me to the left, then seems to go neutral and reset itself. After I come back in frame, the drone reestablishes its lock and starts tracking again. That is cool. Technology that's in the toys we get to play with these days is ridiculous. In order to get the drone to stay with the rider required assistance. This trail has a few drastic changes in direction that isn't ideal for active track. However, we still got some decent footage. Up until this time, I hadn't paid much attention to the spotlight function, and from what I can tell, spotlight is the default option once you selected your target. Spotlight is very different compared to the other active track options. With spotlight, the drone won't fly with you if there's no operator, as you can see here. So long. So, to test the spotlight, we headed out to the Caledonia countryside to chase some dirt bikes. To use Spotlight, just select your target and you're good to go. Spotlight is real tricky to use when you're chasing fast-moving targets. You have little, maybe no, control over your yaw. It feels like everything had to be done using the right joystick, which meant I had to consistently position the drone behind the target and keep a fair amount of distance in order to keep the rider in frame. I wouldn't recommend using Spotlight in this situation. Chasing targets that are constantly changing direction make it very difficult to use this option. For the rest of the day, I did end up flying without active track to get some usable video. However, unsatisfied and determined to learn more, the next day I gave the Spotlight option another chance while visiting some friends of mine. Overall, I do think the Mavic Air 2's active track capabilities are impressive. Trace is very user-friendly and probably one of the safer tracking options the drone has. So long as your path is void of any barriers or overhead obstacles, Trace is pretty much a set it and forget it kind of deal. The parallel option can really provide an exciting angle, so long as your target isn't drastically changing directions frequently. The Spotlight option ended up being a lot of fun. So long as your target isn't moving too fast or changing directions, Spotlight really opens the door to more exciting video. That being said, I am super excited to try Spotlight with wake surfing. I don't think chasing bikes up and down a track or trail that isn't in a straight line is ideal for it, but you could get lucky. I mean, I feel like we pulled some decent shots out of the experience.
you hit coming down?
That is so fast.
Anyway, I hope this video was entertaining. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.